Hello, everyone. Welcome to HSBN. This afternoon, I'm sitting down with a couple of my friends, and if you understood what God says in His Word concerning the little bit that He can take and turn it into much in your life, into the things that are around you, it can also happen in ministry. It can also happen in the things that He gives you to do with your hand. One thing I do know about God, He's true in His promises. Everything that He says He's going to do, He will do. We wouldn't be here today if those promises have not come true. The reason why we are talking about Midwest Food Bank today is because that's such a thing. God has taken a seed and multiplied it to the point where now the whole world is eating out of the same basket. The whole world is eating out of the same hands. And the volunteers that are coming to put their hands to that work is expanding it all over the world. But before I tell you all this story, I might as well tell you who these people are that are sitting with me. Normally, I don't introduce myself on my show. I always ask my guests to introduce themselves. I'm going to start with you because we had a little joke earlier. We were talking about that we're going to put beauty first. And so we're going to ask you to go first and tell our audience all over the world. Right now, there are about 50 million people watching and about in 187 different countries. So no pressure. Just take your time. Tell us who you are, and then we'll go from there. How's that?
Wow, you're scaring me, sister. So I am Eric Sheldahl, and my wife Mary and I founded, for no better word, the Midwest Food Bank Arizona Division.
That was in our division. And prior to that, Eric, what did you do? I mean, who truly are you? I know that you're a man of God because every time I see you, you're asking me to pray. So I know that's a part of you. But who are you? Where did you start? Where you come from, and those kinds of things we'd like to know.
You are a great woman of prayer, so I would never miss the opportunity to ask you.
Oh, thank you.
Sometimes I have the urge just to call you and ask
Please
you to pray,
do,
okay?
because I'll pick up the phone for you.
We're pretty sure you have God's cell phone.
Yes, we'll do.
So I grew up in Iowa,
Yeah.
and developed real estate all my life.
Okay.
And then when the Great Recession came,
Yeah.
there was no more call for real estate developers, right?
That was in 2007, 2008,
Yeah,
right?
sure
You heard
was.
that story
Yep.
before. Yeah.
Yep, we've all heard the story.
Yeah.
And so my wife Mary and I came to Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been here ever since.
Ever since, you love it.
We love it.
But I'm so proud to say that Eric is living in the city that I live in and I counsel in. So I'm really, really grateful that you are one of our residents in Chandler. Because of course, it's out of Chandler, right? Everything good comes out of Chandler. So Merilee, we don't want to really stop you from intervening. Just join in right now. Tell me who you are, what's your name, and what are you doing? Why are you with this guy sitting down here today?
So my name is Merilee Baptiste. I'm the executive director of Midwest Food Bank,
Yes.
and I basically started with them a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just felt the call to serve others,
amazing.
and left corporate America in order to do so.
That's wonderful. Well, there are many people right now that are wondering, what do I do? Because we are living in a time right now where people are reevaluating their lives. They're looking at, what is the purpose of my life? Where do I go from here? And I'm glad to hear that you're coming from a world to a different world. But it's not really different, right? Because the set skills are pretty much the same, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities. I think on a daily basis, I mean, there's people that are really just working towards one common goal.
Yes.
But ultimately, it's such a positive environment.
Mm-hmm.
Agencies that we work with, they're happy because they're serving other people. The volunteers are happy because they're helping to put packaged food and serve others, and it's just an amazing environment.
It's an amazing environment. If you hear about this amazing environment, we want to know, how did that started? Why is it that you went and do this? I mean, did you get a call from God? Did you feel in your heart this is what you needed to do? I need to hear the story about Midwest. How did they start? And then how did you become to start the plant here in Arizona?
Well, the story is amazing.
Yes.
And I never get tired of telling it.
Come on, tell it to us.
It is literally a mustard seed story.
Yes.
And the story in the shortest version possible is there were three brothers in Bloomington, Illinois, and they were farmers.
Yeah.
And they read an article in the local newspaper that said the food pantries couldn't get food, and if they could, they had to pay for it.
Wow.
And so they're farmers, and they know the abundance of food. And
Yes.
so they opened up a small food bank in a little seed building on the farm. And
Wow.
it was the size of a 2-car garage, maybe not even that big.
Yes.
And they started serving 11 agencies. Agencies are food pantries, rehabilitation centers,
yeah.
homeless ministries, churches, schools. And that was in 2003.
Wow.
And they really felt that they had answered God's calling. Okay.
Yeah. By doing that.
By doing that.
But God had much more.
God had more in mind.
That's right.
And so when the Hurricane Katrina struck the Gulf,
Yeah.
the Salvation Army was calling for food. We need food, we need food, we need food, and it was flashing across the screens.
Yes.
And so David, the founding brother, said, we can take a load of food.
Yeah.
Now they're farmers and they have semis and they, they have trucks. And so David and his wife took a load of food to Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Yep.
And they're unloading it, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and the Salvation Army is circled around the truck
Yeah.
in prayer.
In
For
prayer.
their
That's
safe
right.
return, right?
That's right. We're going to send them off.
We're going to send them home in prayer.
Yeah.
With prayer. And as David was climbing up into the truck, one of the Salvation officers said, David, we need 10 more loads.
10 more loads. Can you explain what a load is like?
Well, it's 48,000 pounds food, right?
That's right. One load. We need 10 of them.
We need 10 more.
Yeah.
And he said, okay.
Wow.
So now they're driving out of Hattiesburg, and it's dark and no power or
Yeah.
anything. And David's wife, Wilma, says, what are you thinking?
Why did you say yes?
Why did you say that?
Yes.
And, his answer was, people are hurting.
Yeah.
Because people are hurting.
Yeah.
And so this farmer and his wife and 3 volunteers at the little seed building
Yes.
called every neighbor, every farmer, every trucking company,
Wow.
every manufacturer of food, every distributor of food,
Wow.
every throughout the U.S.
That's right. They didn't stay there. They
Nope.
just took it.
And in fact hauled 167 loads
Wow.
through the Salvation Army.
More than they asked for.
Yeah.
This is the kind of God he is. And we know that he's more than enough, right? He's always giving more and more. And his promises are yes and amen, right? David said yes, and God says amen.
Yep.
And just move it forward. And then from there, how did you get involved? How did you come in contact with them?
Well, Midwest then from that point grew because the other nonprofits took note of that. And the
Yes.
manufacturers took note of that. and the
Yes.
distributors
When you're
took
doing
note of
something
that.
good, people
Yeah.
will come.
And they basically said, you grow this organization, we'll give you the food.
Yes.
Okay. And so Mary and I, my wife, were looking through Charity Navigator
Uh-huh.
back in 2014.
Yes.
And there were, to be rated on Charity Navigator, you put your financials out, your audited statements,
Yeah.
so on. There was roughly 7,000 being rated, and there was a top 10 list. And Midwest Food Bank's on that top 10
Wow.
out of 77,000. So,
Yeah.
we looked at it, and I just couldn't believe how much food they had moved.
My God.
Right? And I will say the food was 88 million in 14, right? Sounds like a lot.
Wow.
But I couldn't believe their overhead. And so sent and then I learned lots of things like all the semis and box trucks are volunteer driven. And
Yes,
no wonder
yes.
they don't have, right? A lot
Yeah,
of overhead.
overheads. Yeah.
And so sent a contribution and got a thank you call from the founder.
Wow.
And during that call, actually this happened 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah.
The first year I didn't say, how can we do this in Arizona? The second year I said, how can we do this in Arizona? 1 month later, David Kaiser, the founding brother, 2 board members came.
Wow.
We visited, and by September we had a building. And by March 1.
Acceleration.
Yes, God's acceleration.
Yes, God does it. When he's doing it, you know it's God that's in it.
Yeah.
And then by 1 year and 18 days, 17 days after we first met, we opened in
Gilbert.
serving 35
So, I mean, if you've
agencies.
never been there, it's something to see. It's a huge operation, and the amount of food that comes out of this place, it's unbelievable. And I know this is the point where you come in, right?
is.
Telling us what a great work God is doing in that place,
Yeah.
and explain to our audience what is it that you do on a daily basis, a typical day, what's going on over there.
So typical day, I'd say maybe that was back pre-pandemic,
Uh-huh.
perhaps. And it's just a matter of, organizing all the food donations we're getting in
Yeah.
from manufacturers and such on a regular basis, and then working with the agencies that have applied to work with us
Yeah.
to get that food and supplies. So just the overall organization of that, but with that comes volunteers that are interested in serving with one another and just helping for the greater good, as well as doing, some fundraising and things that will help to cover some of the expenses of your basic trucks and things like that.
Correct,
So it's a good amount of work. It's a lot of fun. It's amazing, and every day we see miracles.
I love the fact that it's fun,
It is
and then
fun.
I love the fact that we see miracles.
We do.
Because miracles are fun to watch, right? Because when we are in it, sometimes we don't see all the things that God is moving, but when it's done, then we were like, what are the chances?
Yeah.
These things can align at the perfect time and the right time and everything else to say that God had really performed a miracle right here. So tell me, let's talk about numbers, because there are a lot of people right now that are thinking numbers. Okay, we said this is a huge organization that you're moving a lot of food, and it's by the millions now, right?
Yes, it
So
is.
tell us
Absolutely.
what did you do only last year in COVID, where
Yeah.
nobody was going out,
Yes.
nothing. So
Last year was it was tough for a lot of people. I mean,
Yeah.
suddenly unemployed and kids home from school, not
Yeah.
getting free lunches. So it's really tough. But we worked with over 300 different partner agencies, so schools and churches and in tribal nations,
yes,
serving them. And we, at the end of the year, was $66 million worth of food.
$66 million worth
And
of
about
food.
500,000 people a month that are getting served through our agencies and
Yes.
getting that food, which is amazing because the year before this pandemic started, we were just under 18 million. So
So you went from 18 million to 60 million.
Yeah.
68 million.
66 million.
66, 68.
Yeah.
My goodness, this
Yeah.
is amazing what God can do, right?
No cost to the recipients.
At no cost to the recipient. And we have to make sure that we say that, because at Midwest Food Bank, you just want food, you get food, right?
Yes.
And I love that you partner with other agencies. What is it that the partnership requires? If somebody was looking right now and they wanted to be partnering with you guys, what are the levels of partnering that you have?
Yeah, so basically just being a nonprofit or tax exempt organization. So we work with cities like City of Mesa, for example, and they have crisis intervention and that type of thing. But really any nonprofit, any size. So as long as they have that designation, that helps us feel comfortable with the fact that they are held to a certain requirement for
Yeah.
their own fundraising and finances and,
Yeah.
the objectives they have. So that's it. It's pretty easy. As Eric said, there isn't a cost for the food at all. So
Yeah.
we get it all for free. We give it away for free.
Yep.
And we just want to bless others. So I think that we have the easy work of getting all the food for free. And I think they have the harder work with getting it to the people that actually need it,
Yes.
because they need to find those homeless people
Yeah.
or the
Families that are
shelters
in
and
need.
different things.
Yeah.
And
They need
it's
to
a
find
lot
them.
of work, and there's a lot of people that
doing-
don't do it for anything other than just they know it's the right thing to do.
Is the right thing to do. And I know a few of the agencies that I have referred to you. They are so grateful for the food, for the things that are happening and how they get it. And you guys make it so easy when it comes to getting the food. There's not a lot of red tape. It's just let's get in the food. Now, in the cities that you are mentioning, that are you getting support from the cities? Are you getting support from the legislatures and people in your areas and things like that?
Yeah, so we do get support from a lot of the surrounding cities. I mean, we serve all of Arizona. So
A whole Arizona. That's mean it's Tucson,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
Flagstaff, everywhere.
right. So we're not limited by geography, and
Yes.
so
Wow.
that's actually gives us the freedom to go wherever there is a need.
Yeah,
But we
I love
do-
that.
Yeah, and the support we get, we have to apply for. So we're not government funded by any means. We have to apply for different grants that we
Apply for different grants. Or if anybody out there know about any grant and they would like to reach you, the information is on the screens. They can either reach you or Eric, and then themselves. Now you talk about the machine behind this whole movement. It's volunteerism.
Oh, yes.
Yes, how important it is for people to volunteer, how important it is to have people that support a cause. I tell people all the time, things pass, things like that. People say, hey, come along and do this. You can be part of it or not. But when there's a cause that is truly touching other people's lives, then we see others get involved. They come along. So how many volunteers would you say that it has been coming around? And I don't know if you know the numbers, because I see you there, both you and your wife, you're volunteers.
Yes.
Sure we
Even
are.
though you are the people that founded the chapter here in Arizona, but you are also volunteers. You don't get paid.
Correct.
The God is so good. And I remember I
good.
took one of our county supervisors to visit with you, and that was one of the things that impressed him the most. That the fact that you guys founded this and you're still volunteering for it. That's amazing. So now that you're the head of all the volunteers, how many volunteers, Merilee, that are coming through?
So last year we had 5,000 volunteers and about
Wow.
60,000 volunteer hours, which was great because we were in a pandemic. So
Yes.
there were some people that normally volunteered that were staying home for
Yeah.
health reasons. But then we also had a lot of new volunteers that were really interested in getting out of their house
Yes.
and
so
coming
they
to help
started
their
coming.
mothers.
Yes.
And they had the time to do it, so it was great.
So you're talking about 60,000 hours
Yes.
that people donated of their time. Because I always said, time is money.
Yeah.
So if we had to convert all this time into a monetary gain, I mean, it's invaluable.
No, absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
millions of dollars that we would have been receiving from those. And what I love about the volunteers that show up for you guys, they are from all walks of life.
Yeah.
I've seen 5-year-olds over there.
Yeah.
I've seen people, tell us a little bit about the demographic that you're seeing that are people that are volunteering.
Well, it is wonderful.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we don't have an age limit.
Nope.
So, I mean, kids can do amazing things.
Yeah.
And we are, we're faith-based, we're non-denominational.
Yeah.
We just want to show the love of Jesus.
That's it.
We want to, or hopefully the love of Jesus is reflected through the
Yeah.
U.S. Food Bank.
Yes.
And so the volunteers have so much fun.
Yes.
And they come from all walks of life.
Yeah.
And it is just, the Holy Spirit is in that building.
Yeah,
That's just
he
all there
is.
to
When
it.
you walk in there, you truly could feel the Spirit of the Lord in there, because he says it. What you have done for the least of them, you have done unto me. And I think everybody that is your mission statement. That is what you have provided. So the environment, when they walked in, they feel that you guys are living the mission, and this is what's going to grow, keep growing. So as I said the word grow, because God always in the business of growing, right?
always in the business
So
of
do
growing.
we have any plan to grow now and start? I know that you're looking for other places and things like that. So talk to me about the dream and the vision.
Well, we absolutely have a desire to grow. It would be so cool if the cameras could be on Midwest Food right down the street this morning.
Yes,
We've
it's
got
right down the
well
street.
over 100 volunteers that are packaging product in the
Wow.
front. We have special needs that are working in the community center.
Wow.
We have in the back every 20 minutes 2 agencies come for food.
Every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so
It's moving.
it's moving. Right? Now we do have a satellite location in Tucson that the Salvation Army is, or no, St. Vincent de Paul. I'm
Yes,
sorry,
St.
St. Vincent de
Vincent de
Paul
Paul.
has given us a building to
Yeah.
use indefinitely.
Oh,
And,
praise God.
it serves over 50 agencies out of
Oh,
Tucson.
that's good. Yeah.
We do need to expand.
Yeah.
Our partners are coming a long ways from the west side of Phoenix.
Okay.
to
So
get
you're
product.
looking toward the west
Yeah,
side.
we
looking
really
for-
are. That
yeah.
gets us closer to. A lot of our food comes out of California. That gets us closer to California.
That's
It doesn't
good.
have to go through the city traffic.
Yeah.
Here. So we're definitely looking for facilities there.
Absolutely, and also closer to the tribal nation that you serve,
Yes.
toward the north and
Exactly.
things in the south. Well, surely the tribal nations can be listening right now, and those who are we serve and things like that. We're looking for those partnership. We're looking for them to give. I'm a bit partial about it because I'm on the board now, and so
That is right.
so I just want a full disclaimer. I'm on the board, but I think what really really drove me to say yes to this being on the board is because of the fact that I've seen people's lives being changed through this process. It's one thing for us to say that we live in a country that is so affluent. When you think of the United States, other people are flocking here because they think this is a better place to live because where they are is definitely not making it for them. And so they are flocking here. But at the same time, we have some people here at the level that we would like to see them, they are not. When it comes to poverty, when it comes to children going to bed hungry. I mean, we have so many kids that are going to bed hungry right here in this state. And so you are playing such a key part in making sure those kids are eating every single day, whether they go to school or not. And I think that was proven in 2020 when we had the COVID crisis, that Midwest rose up and then played its part.
We have a couple of programs besides just giving food to people.
Yes.
We have some that are focused more on kids. So
Yeah.
there are kids that may get a free breakfast or lunch at school, but when they go home, they don't have any food. So
Yeah.
we have what we call Hope Packs, and it is more or less a snack pack with some kind of hearty food in it. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and kids can put that in their backpack, bring it home, and keep it for themselves if they don't have any food. So that's one ministry we have.
Another part of the ministry
It
besides
is.
giving Asian
It
kids
is,
food,
yeah.
okay?
So we have 10 U.S. locations. We also have 2 international. So we
Wow.
have a product that is a rice-based protein and vegetables.
I know
is
that very
from-
well because the kids in Haiti did that,
Yeah,
right?
so we bring that to Haiti and Kenya, but we also, during the pandemic, it opened up an opportunity to distribute that more locally to, and a lot of the tribal nations really benefited from that. So
like
we
it.
do that as well as disaster relief.
Yep.
So that's
It's important.
another piece where you think Arizona, not a lot of disasters,
Yeah.
but there's flooding happening right now in Globe, Miami area.
And we had fires
Yeah, and so we're bringing supplies and food to those areas to help the people right now.
right now. It's amazing. I love the fact that you said that disaster relief because that's one of the area that I thrive in and help and jump in and get involved and making sure that people are taken care of. Having those backpack, I know that we use them also for the homeless.
Yes.
So
yeah.
when we give them the breakfast and then we can give them that pack and then they have a food for the whole day. They can
Exactly.
carry that. They're non-perishable and things that they can eat. And I'm loving it. This is amazing. The time is passing. Look how quick it goes, right? Because we are having fun talking about what God can do and how he can take a little bit like the mustard seed and multiply it. And not only in multiplication of daily bread, but also in our faith. Because when you started this, basically, it was by faith, right?
Correct.
You started it by faith,
Correct.
and it's continually by faith.
Yes, and I will say that there is a big difference, Christine, between starting a food bank, okay, and we've been honored as calling founders.
Yes.
We virtually started a food bank.
Yeah.
There is a large difference between starting a food bank and operating a food bank.
Tell me about it. Yes.
And so that is where
Merilee.
God's blessing
Yes.
has come in. And I'm just serious as can be. This gal runs Midwest Food Bank.
Yes.
Livestock and Barrel,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
And that allows me, for whatever talents I've got, to search out for other facilities,
Yes.
to see how can we expand our ministry, how
Yeah.
can we
I love
how
it.
can we help ourselves, and it is only because of Merilee.
Merilee.
that I can do that.
And in every vision, there have to be somebody that's going to work it,
Yep.
right? And then you keep dreaming and you keep going forward. You keep pushing the boundaries. And Merilee said, so you keep bringing me more work. But you love it. It looks like you're smiling. So that means you love it. And I've never walked into that place without seeing you interacting with everybody and smiling with them. One thing that I do know about you, you have an open door policy.
Yeah,
And people come right in your office anytime.
Anytime,
And
yeah.
you're moving all this food all over the world, but it doesn't faze you, right?
No, staff, volunteers, agencies. I
Yes.
mean, I often ask our agencies to provide us with pictures and stories about
Yes,
the people that they're
that's
giving the
another
food
part.
to,
Yeah.
because we don't always get to see that.
Yes.
And they are right there every day, and so I love to get that.
Yeah, I love it. Well, if you have a Midwest Food Bank story, please make sure that you reach out and send it, because those stories fuel us. They help us to understand that this is the mission, this is what God had asked us to do, and that we are moving forward and making it happen every single day that we wake up. We want to make sure that there is not one child or one person or one homeless person that goes to bed hungry, or that just keep roaming the street hungry, because we don't want people eating out of garbage can. We don't want people, trying to dig into other people, so that just because that this is not right, this is not what God has given us this world to end up doing. We want to come together along agencies and those that are in need and provide for those needs. As I said, time is passing by. If there was something that you would like to tell our audience right now concerning the Midwest philosophy and food bank that we have not discussed, what will it be at this time? What will that be? If you wanted to touch their heart, understanding who you are and what you're doing.
Well, I often say that we are not a warehouse. We are in the logistics business. We pick up the food, we sort it, we package it. The agencies pick up from us.
Yes.
Something that is concerning,
Yeah.
and that is that at one time we served 330 agencies, and today we serve
265.
265. A lot of agencies have
Collapse. And so that means that they are not getting food to those people that are in need.
Non-existent.
And exactly. So we need agencies to really, because a lot of time it happens, it's not because they don't have the passion anymore. It's because they got fatigue, right? They're tired, or the people are feeling like, oh my God, it's overwhelming, the need itself.
Well, a lot of them are volunteers, and
Yeah.
maybe they lost their support.
Yes.
Maybe their equipment has broken down. Maybe they lost their drivers.
Yes.
But that is concerning.
That is concerning.
Very
And so
concerning.
we're praying for them. We are asking God to show more ways for connecting. And if He wants to raise more people to come and get the food, to please, it's available. Just make a phone call. Information is on there. Send an email, ask for it, and you will receive it. What about you, Merilee? What would you say?
No level of support is too big or too small. So we have people that come in and volunteer for an hour. We have other people that come in for 4 hours or 8 hours. And so if you have some time and just a passion to serve, we welcome you.
Yeah.
And you'll be helping others.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. Helping others is important. I'm never going to leave you without seeing a pathway out of wherever you are, because God Himself has said it. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And then in this moment, if you're hungry, not only for things, but for Him also, reach out and touch somebody. God bless you. We love you. May God touch you always. Bye-bye from Midwest.